There we go. It's recording.
All right. Okay.
Hi, Cynthia, and welcome to the Elope and Explore podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's so nice to see you again, Amber.
It is really nice. You guys have been like very busy, and like you have two
Very.
kids now, right?
We have 3 kids.
Three kids. Oh my gosh, are
Yeah,
you
I
kidding?
know. It has a bonus kid.
Oh,
Yeah, so we have a toddler that's almost 2. She's almost 2. And then we got pregnant and turns out they were twins. So now we have
right.
3 kids.
Oh my gosh.
I
And they are
know.
like very small.
They're quite small. They're 4 weeks old, like
Oh my
today.
goodness. Oh my
They're
gosh.
very brand new
Congratulations.
still.
Oh,
Hopefully
that
they
is
don't interrupt me doing this.
okay. Well, we'll see. We never
Yeah,
know with
that's about to let you know.
this. All right, so I do have some questions for you guys because so you eloped with Tyler back in
Yep,
September 2022, so that was a while
3 years
ago
ago.
now.
Yep,
Um, so before we dive right into like the elopement adventure and stuff, can you first like introduce yourselves and tell us why, like, where you eloped first? Where did you elope?
sure. Yeah, so I'm Cynthia, and yeah, like you mentioned, so my husband is Tyler. We are from Canada, and we eloped in France, specifically in like the Normandy, northern France area.
All right, and can what initially kind of drew you to the idea of eloping instead of having like a big traditional wedding?
Mm-hmm. So I would say so we actually were originally planning for, a more traditional wedding. And as it turned out, we got engaged and was in the planning process, at the tail end of the pandemic. It was it was still at a time where we were seeing a lot of friends have to cancel plans and like, move their schedules around. And we also have families, like a lot of our family members are not local to us. So we have concerns that even if we were to have a wedding and invite them, what if they cannot make it because there's new quarantine restrictions and things like that. So I think the logistics just got so complicated that we were like, okay, let's look at some other options. And I will mention that elopement has been something that's been at least on my mind since I was really little. I think I saw a movie at one point. I don't even remember the name. I'm not even 100% sure if it's like a real scene at this point, but it was a movie with like a couple that, basically were like traveling in France and like basically got married in a little chapel in France. And that image has been in my head since then. Um, so when we started to, I guess, broaden our, you know, thinking to beyond like the traditional wedding, once we started entertaining the idea of like, what if we don't do this? Then it was like a very easy decision for us. And we're like immediately like, for me at least, it was like, oh wow, that actually maybe this idea in my head can actually happen. And and everything went from there. I think Tyler actually found your website first and we looked at it and we looked at the pictures that you've taken. And it was like, this is perfect. Let's reach out. Yeah, so that's what happened.
Oh my gosh. And it's so funny that you actually were kind of at the beginning story of why you need to elope, but Tyler was also very drawn to France because of the whole history part,
Oh yeah,
especially Normandy. So it's kind
right.
of it was like
Yeah,
the best.
exactly.
Yeah.
So his side of the family, like in terms of like his like ancestry lineage, a lot of it actually can trace back to like Normans,
Mm.
and so there is a little bit of a family connection there as well. And I personally also really like the area. I really like the architecture, especially like the Gothic looking architecture, which I think you know. Um, are shown in a lot of our photos too. Like we did go to a lot of places that showcase that. And like my engagement ring was designed based off the architecture around the area. So there were a lot of connections there already, even before. Originally, if anything, I think we were always thinking, even if we were to have a traditional wedding, that was going to be our honeymoon spot. Like we
Mm.
were going to go there for honeymoon. So yeah, so we just blended the two together.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And so how did you start planning your elopement? What was the like the first thing you booked or decided on?
Well, you were the first thing we booked. Yeah, and that I think got everything started. But I would say for us, it was location. Like we've been talking about, like the Normandy area in general was always been on our minds, and it's a place that we want to go to and feel connected to, and want to see. Like we, neither of us has been to France. It's all like very, you know, academically curious. It's something that we've learned about, and Tyler's like a huge history buff. Like he knows a lot of the like in historical context and things like that, but neither of us actually been there. So the location, I would say, was like the first thing we wanted to like hone in on. And then and I think a lot of it, honestly, I think, Ember, like you were great with in terms of guiding us through the process. So I think once we were like, this is what we want to do, this is roughly the timeline, like, we want to go in the fall. I think that's one of the first things that we decided. And then after that, like you came back with like a lot of good ideas, and then I think it was just kind of like going back and forth in terms of which exact locations. And I know like one thing that we mentioned to you earlier was that, for our actual wedding like ceremony where we give exchange vows and things like that, we want to do it at, we had this idea of like a ruin. And so that was like one of the things that we wanted to see if possible. And obviously, again, like not being from there or have ever been there, it was just this idea. And then like you came back with like multiple locations, and so yeah, I think everything just kind of organically grew from there.
All right. And because that's kind of a question that comes back very often, but how did you tell your family and friends when you decided to elope, and how did they react?
Yeah, so I think for us, again, it was a little bit easier because of the circumstance, because of, again, like with the pandemic still kind of looming. So people were very understanding. We always say that we eloped with the blessings of our parents. So they were definitely like, before we completely committed to this idea of elopement, we went to them first and we were like, this is something we're thinking of doing. And I think one thing that, again, like doing elopement with you really worked was that it came with so many good pictures. And we were, even from the beginning when we were pitching this idea to them, we're like, yes, like it will be just us on the trip, but at least like there will be so many documentation of it. And, hopefully, and I think that for both of our parents, they saw the value in it, and they saw that, okay, like even if we can't be there physically with them, like we can like live through their experience with these like professional taking photographs and everything. So I, like from their perspective, I think it helped a lot that like the package come, like this whole thing comes with, so many good pictures that they also get to keep, and they get to share, and they get to look at, and hopefully feel like they're still part of the experience.
For sure. And so let's talk a little bit more about your elopement day, because we spent 3 days together.
Yep.
But when we think about the elopement day specifically, can you walk us through what it looked like, if you remember?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a bit, but it's very interesting because I've always said that another thing I just love about how we did our wedding is that because it was just us, there were actually like, I have a lot of like core memories like lost like to that day, versus like a traditional wedding. I feel like when there's like so much going on and you're running around, you're working with like different planners, like different contractors and things like that, that maybe you actually wouldn't remember as much. But no, so I guess, yeah, in terms of like a step by step, I think it's a little fuzzy, but I think so. Let me know if you remember something that I don't. But so on the elopement day, like we got to like the auberge that's like with the abbey, and like the inn that's with the abbey, and we arrived at some point during the day. I think maybe like after lunch-ish.
Yeah.
And then so our thing was we wanted it very simple. So we actually, I think, yeah, we had a florist. So we had a bouquet that was pre-delivered, and Amber, like, you picked it up before we even arrived, like to friends. So we had the bouquet, but then otherwise we just had a makeup artist that came in.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the makeup artist, like, she came in, Lucy, I think that's her name. Oh wow, I remember.
Hey.
Pretty sure, yeah. But she came in, she did my makeup. She did Tyler's makeup, which I'm very glad that he agreed to, because
Mhm.
always nice to look good.
Yeah.
So we did our makeups like in separate rooms. So I kind of like got prepared separately. So we kind of kept that little like tradition so we can keep the first look till later. And so he got ready. He went to the location first, and then while I was finishing up, and then Amber, you drove me over. Okay, it's definitely flash like coming back to me now. Like I really remember it now. We went over to the location. It was the Abbey that's like basically in the same area. Um, we had our first look, and that's when I remember like walking up, like he was facing away from me, and I was walking up to him. It was definitely very emotional. And we had our first look, and it was very intimate. And after that, I think we kind of everything else, like we just did it ourselves. Like we didn't have a officiant. We wanted to keep it very intimate, very like simple and true to like almost like the space that we were in, which is this simple abbey ruin that's been there for like hundreds of years. um so it was literally just, I felt like it was a moment just for the two of us. Everything from there, like we kind of just did what we felt was natural. We were on our own timing, like we weren't, there weren't like, oh, we have to be here at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. It was very much like, okay, like, we can like absorb in the moment after our first look. We, walked hand in hand to like the locate, like into the Abbey. And then we were looking around, I think just looking at, like really absorbing in the scenes and picking out where we want to like exchange our vows. Got to like, we were in like the central area. I don't know if you're going to show pictures, but like the
Yeah.
central area, like within the Abbey. And then yeah, and then I think, yeah, it was just very organic. There were things that we wanted to do, like exchange our vows, like we prepared vows and had rings, like we did, those things. But yeah, again, otherwise it was just very much like us and with ourselves in our world and enjoying the moment. And after the ceremony was done, like we, explored the ground more, which was beautiful. And got more pictures because that's nice.
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, like it really felt like the pictures turned out amazing, but the pictures was more like something that you were like doing, and we were just enjoying ourselves. Like we were just really enjoying ourselves and exploring the space and going to like the different areas. Oh yeah, and I remember like we were there after hours, so it was literally just us. Like there were no other tourists, there were no other visitors there. So yeah, we had like full range to the whole space, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh, and then we
gosh.
had dinner after, which was also great.
No, you remember well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had dinner after for sure. Because you're in France, so you have to get food.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But like,
Food was always good.
is there like anything that you would do differently if you could do it again, or not at all?
Honestly, I would say no. Um, I don't know if I cut out a little bit. I think at my
A
screen
little bit,
glitched.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying that no, like I don't think there's anything I would do differently. Like it was I want to say perfect, you know? Like sometimes it's like you want to be a little reserved, like maybe there's something that could be better, but I honestly can't think of anything. Like it's a memory that I really hold truly dearly, and I still talk about it sometimes. Like, our anniversary is coming up. Like
Yes.
it's actually in 2 days. So this is literally about the time that we did it 3 years ago. And but every anniversary, like we sit together, we look through the photos, and then we talk about like all the little memories and little details that we remember. And for me, it's just this core memory of when we finished our vows and we looked up into the skies, and then the birds just flew, and it was just beautiful. And this picture in my head, I feel like it's just something I get to carry with me forever. And yeah, and I think just the whole experience, like being what it was, just makes it so special. Like every single part was all like brought together to like make this memory like so special for us. And I honestly don't think I would change anything.
All right, that's
Yeah.
to hear. And so, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about eloping?
um as long as you think that's the right thing to do, like I get that, like there is family obligations,
Mhm,
but at the end of the day, as long as you truly think that's something that you enjoy, like at the end of the day, to me, like marriage, wedding, it's maybe you'll have another chance, but like it's one of those things you wish it's a once in a lifetime experience. Like you want to make it count. So I would, put yourself first.
mhm,
Um, do what you think is the most gonna be the most memorable, the most enjoyable for you and your partner. Um, and yeah, like again, like one thing that I think just comparing my experience to, weddings I've been to, like friends I know who got married, at the end of the day, the main thing with elopement to me is that obviously you go to somewhere really beautiful and you get to, almost do a honeymoon with your wedding, and it's a nice time to travel with your partner. But more importantly to me, the difference is that you just remember so much. Like
mhm.
because you get to be completely in the moment with someone that you are very intimate with, that you trust, that and you're not worried about, have I talked to this relatives? Have I said hi to this person yet? Are we on schedule?
Yeah,
Um, are people where they should be? Like are we, like are people entertained? Like all these other things that will come with a traditional wedding, like all of those things are completely out of your mind, so you can just be completely in the moment with the person that you love. And I think that's so special. And yeah, and I honestly recommend it to anyone as long as their families and friends can can
yeah.
agree to it. I think that's always a big hurdle, and it can, depending on personal circumstances, but yeah, as long as you're allowed to, like, go for it, because it's an experience like no others.
And so, did you guys, because you didn't have any guests, did you do like a post elopement celebration or plan to do one in the future?
Yeah, so we did some pre, some post. Like
Mm,
it wasn't like we did something post like for family, and we did like pre-engagement slash early wedding, like get together like with friends. Yeah, like I think there are definitely ways to like work that into it. I don't think any of ours were like super official, but we just made a point to like hang out with friends and share our, share our excitement and share our experience with like family and friends, like both before and after.
okay, well, and so did I guess they saw the photos. What? How did they respond? Oops, after seeing the photos and or like
People were
hearing about your day.
yeah, friends were jealous.
Oh,
Like so many people are like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. Or I wish we did that, like actually, no, anytime we share the photos, people are just like in awe with like everything. The experience and the scenery and the quality of the pictures, honestly, they're amazing. And families, yeah. And no, families love it too. I know my parents like share them around so much. Like they're very proud of them as well, and they think we look great, and it's just so professionally done, right? Like because um you know, how many like professional photo shoots is one person gonna have, like in general? Like not for me, like not that much, you know, like unless you're, I guess, like in entertainment, you might like have headshots. Like for me, I have my LinkedIn photo and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, so it's great to just like have like, oh wow, like I look amazing and these are great photos. But and from my parents' perspective too, right? It's like something they can show off to like their friends as
Mm,
well, to be like, yeah, our daughter and our son-in-law, and they look amazing and they're in France, and you know, stuff like that. So
yes. Oh yeah, that's kind of yeah, I understand. They kind of they are proud of what you did, kind of. They were proud of
yeah,
showing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were for sure, for sure.
Awesome. So before you just wrap up, do you have anything else that you want to share with couples considering eloping?
Um, just enjoy the moment. I think to me that's always what it is. Enjoy the process, enjoy the moment. It's yeah, it's a very special opportunity if you get to do it. And yeah, and again, like you get to go somewhere that's like less travel too. I think that's also another thing. I guess yeah, like if you're planning on it, at least plan a couple of locations that's like less traveled. You know, don't only go to the tourist traps.
Yes.
um, yeah,
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Cynthia. I'm gonna stop recording right now, and I'm just gonna chat with you after. So
sounds
thank you again
good.
so much for your time, and
Yeah, no
obviously I'm
problem.
gonna share the link to your photos, to the photos of your allotment in the show
Yeah,
notes, so
all
people can
good, all
check it
good. I'm proud of them too. So
out. Thank
thank
you
you.
again so much.